अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Welcome to episode 16 of the Strengthening Foundation series, and today's topic is importance of the morning program. Now, in the last 2 weeks, we have covered a lot in the last 15 episodes about the different segments of the morning program, basically, starting with the Mangalarati. Of course, the first session was in the name of Prabhupada and the Prabhupada Pranati Mantra, and after that we have covered Mangalarati, then we have gone through the Narasimha prayer, then Tulsi Arati, then we also read the story of Tulsi Maharani in 3 parts, and then we have studied the Guru Vandana prayers, the spiritual masters, the 7 o'clock when we offer the Guru Puja, then the song we have gone through that one. Then we have also gone through all the different various other prayers that are involved. Yesterday we have gone through that in the episode 15. So today's episode is on the importance of following this all of this in the morning especially. So all these we have covered so far is in the morning session, to be followed in the morning session. Now, of course, there are so many quotations by Srila Prabhupada stressing the importance of this morning program. Because if we want to grow strong, if we want to become strong in spiritual life, we have to go deep. Just like the tree. The roots, as deep as they go, that strong the tree becomes on the top. So we also cannot expect to grow spiritually, whether individually or as a movement as a whole, if we don't go deep into all of these practices, understanding its significance and also following it. Why we are studying, why we are having this Strengthening Foundation series is so that we can deeply appreciate the importance of all these practices that we do every day, so that we can actually do it every day without compromise. So because Maya is always working in the way of presenting compromises. Because you are very tired, and last night you did not sleep early, or you have to go work, you have so many busy schedules coming up in the day, so you need some extra rest. So in various ways the Maya will try to push us in foregoing this morning program. So however much we may practice devotional service otherwise, reading books and chanting and everything, if we do not practice the morning program, we are completely out. We will fall away from the standard. Actually, it's already fallen. Once we are not following the morning program, it's already a fallen position. And especially those who are watching this are either initiated devotees or those who are serious about getting initiated, those who are serious about going back to Godhead. So for all of us who are serious about this, it is mandatory. We cannot have we cannot cut corners, in other words. We have to follow the full program. So let us go through some of the quotes of Prabhupada, and we will understand the importance of the morning program. Let us drill it into our head. We have heard this many times that the morning program is important, but it's always good to reinforce that understanding with more and more instructions on this process, and so that our mind becomes like, absolutely fixed on that point, and we'll come to the practice of it. Because all of this that we have learned over the past 2 weeks is not going to come to fruition if we don't put it into practice. Knowledge is one thing, but the real fruit is in the execution. So therefore, in the spiritual life is divided into 3 parts: Sambandha, Abhidheya and Prayojana. Sambandha, Abhidheya, Prayojana. Sambandha means the connection, understanding our eternal position as eternal servant of Lord Krishna, and having a deep sense of understanding of that. Then Abhidheya. Abhidheya means to actually put it into practice. If I am a servant of Krishna, well, I have to serve Krishna now. And what is service to Krishna? It starts with Ādau Gurvāshrayam. Some devotees, for some reason, I do not understand why, they like to get initiated. Everyone wants to get initiated. But then they do not follow the instructions, especially waking up in the morning and following the morning program. They're not serious about following these things. They think initiation is a kind of ceremony which will give me blessings. I don't know what they think, but initiation is this: Karishye Vachanam Tava. That is initiation. What is that Karishye Vachanam Tava? In the 18th chapter, 73rd verse, Arjuna says, Krishna, I will do as you say. That is disciple. Disciple comes from the word discipline. If there is no discipline, there is no disciple. So discipline means, what is discipline? When the commander in the army says do this, the soldier has to just do that. As they say, the soldier's duty is not to reason why, but to do and die. So that is our position. We just have to do. Oftentimes, of course, you are all welcome to ask questions on more clarification of all these aspects of morning program and anything that bothers you or anything that you want to know. You can leave a question below. But I'm guessing many questions will also be what to do if, that kind of questions. So instead of finding an alternative to suit our so-called comfort zone, we should rather take it in a spirit of, let me give up my comfort zone and make everything suited to the spiritual process. That is Kṛṣṇa consciousness. To keep our Kṛṣṇa consciousness in the center as the prime duty of our life, and everything else adjust to that. We want to adjust the spiritual life to our material life, and that's where the problem happens. That's where the compromise happens, because we deal, just like if the boss says, if in the company, where we are working, suppose you are working somewhere and the boss says, okay, you have to do this by this deadline, then no matter what, we will adjust everything. We will even give up our time spent with the family and everything, and we will even sit night outs and then get that task done by the deadline. So everything else is adjusted because that is a must. Similarly, and even with more seriousness, we have to take up the order of the spiritual master. It is a must. It is not let's adjust. Spiritual life is not a chutney. I always say this. So chutney means it's like a side dish. The main course is my work, my family, and then spiritual life is like a chutney on the side, which is like whenever I want to have a little bit spice up my life, then I just touch it and then eat it. No. Whenever I'm feeling a little bored, or whenever I want to feel a little inspired, then I touch spirituality. No. This is the main course. The spiritual life is the main course of our life, especially if you are devotee. Then if you are serious, we have to be serious. As human beings, we have to be serious about going back to Krishna, and for that, there is a deadline, which is death, and we do not know when it is coming. Of course, we always like to think that it will come sometime and not now. So, a devotee has to, always be conscious of death, and not just out of fear of it, but it is an exam that we have to pass. And for that, extreme preparation is required. And therefore, this has to be our fulcrum of our life. This has to be our mainstay. Everything else has to work around this. Not that this has to work around my family or work life. So keeping that in mind, let us look at some of the quotes of Srila Prabhupada first, and then we will also go into the tips and practices that we can implement. Of course, in the temple, the morning program is the mandatory, and that's what happens in the day, in the beginning of the day, without fail. But at home, how to implement all this at home, because many grihasthas might face difficulty with different kinds of scenarios. So we will go through that as well. So how to put everything in at home. So let's begin. There is this nice verse. Actually, there are innumerable quotations by Srila Prabhupada. If the point is just to understand, we can go through thousands of them, but the main point is to understand that how important this is. So let us keep that as the focus. You can always do more research on this subject, and you can always find out more and more material. But the point of this session is to drill it into our own heads that this is a must and it's unavoidable wherever you are. It's not that only when you come to the temple or it's a once a week affair. When I come to temple on Saturdays or Sundays mornings, then I'll follow the Mangalarti, and other days I don't know. It has to be. Disciple means you have agreed to all the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. So that means initiation. So those who are initiated and those who want or serious to get initiated, those who are serious about spiritual life, they have to be serious about getting initiated. And for all of those devotees, we have to learn this in that way. So this is a very important verse, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 5.8.8. So Canto 5, Chapter 8, Text 8. I will make the size just big enough for us to see. I am guessing that the computer will hang, so I am just being very carefully, slowly handling it. If I put too many instructions in, it might just jam up. So here, actually this verse is not exactly a poetic verse, it's a prose. So it's like a paragraph basically in Sanskrit. So it's not like a rhyming words or a rhyming, it's a meter, and there's no meter. It's just like a prose. But some of the words are very nice. So we will just read the Sanskrit as well. I hope you can see the text size. If you can't, please let me know in the comments, and I will go through the comments. I'll try to make it a little bigger. Okay, I think that should probably do. Tasya hava ena kunaka uchair etasmin krita nijabhimanasyaharahas tat poshana palana lalana preenana anudhyanena atmaniyamaha sahayamaha purusha paricharya adaya eka esha katipayena aharganena viyujyamanaha kila sarva evodavasan. Now, we'll go through the word to word meaning. Very nice. This is in context of the Bharat Maharaj story. This is part of the Bharat Maharaj story, where as a king he gave up the entire world and he went to the forest to meditate on Vishnu, and in the process, while he was in the forest, he got distracted by a deer, the animal deer. So a lion was actually chasing a deer, and then he saw, and then the deer was pregnant, and then the lion was chasing, and then the deer wanted to jump over the stream of water, and then she jumped, and then in that moment the baby just came out, and then eventually the lion ate the mother up. Now this baby deer is there, so he was taking pity. He was taking pity on the baby deer, and he did all these things. He took care of the deer as if it was his own son, and he became so attached to the deer that he forgot all his spiritual practices. So we just see how Maya comes in a very, very insignificant way and then completely takes over our life. Okay, here. Tasya, of that king, hava, indeed. Ena kunake, in the deer calf, the baby deer. Uchchaihe, greatly. Etasmin, in this. Krita nija abhimanasya, who accepted the calf as his own son. Nija abhimanasya. Ahah, every day. Tat poshana, maintaining that calf. Palana, protecting from dangers. Lalana, raising it or showing love to it by kissing and so on. Prinana, petting it in love. Anudhyanena, by such attachment. Atmaniyamaha, his personal activities for taking care of his body. Saha yamaha, with his spiritual duties such as non-violence, tolerance and simplicity. Purusha paricharya adayaha, worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead and performing other duties. Eka ekashaha, every day. Katipayena, with only a few. Aha ganena, days of time. Viyujyamanah, being given up. Kila, indeed. Sarve, all. Eva, certainly. Udavasan, became destroyed. Translation. Gradually, Maharaj Bharat became very affectionate to the deer. He began to raise it and maintain it by giving it grass. He was always careful to protect it from the attacks of tigers and other animals. When it itched, he petted it, and in this way he always tried to keep it in a comfortable condition. He sometimes kissed it out of love. Being attached to raising the deer, Maharaj Bharat forgot the rules and regulations for the advancement of spiritual life, and he gradually forgot to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. After a few days, he forgot everything about his spiritual advancement. Now, for a mundane person, oh, what is wrong? He's taking care of the animal. He's so nice. And nowadays, especially on the internet, oh, this is so cute. He's kissing the deer, and he's taking care of it and protecting it. He's such a kind man. Why is this condemned? So the condemnation is because, first of all, everybody is protected by the Lord. Somehow or other, he had actually absolutely no business in taking care of the deer. If he was not there, the deer would somehow survive anyway. So whatever the Lord has in plan for the deer, it will happen anyway. Like in the National Geographic or the Discovery Channel, we see the lion or the tiger or the leopard chasing the bison or the deer or the antelope or something like that, or the zebra. And there are thousands of such bisons or zebras, and then the lion catches one. The karma of that zebra had to be, like that. It had to be caught. So, and the rest were saved somehow. So, whatever has to happen will happen anyway. So, if we get too attached to trying to save the situation, if we try to become the kartaham iti manyate, prakritehi kriyamanani gunaihi karmani sarvashah, ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. When we think that, we are the doer, actually everything is being carried out by the three modes of material nature, according to one's karma. What is that? Yastvindra gopam athavendra mahosva karma bandhanurupa phalabhajana matanoti karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So, from Indra down to, or even from Brahma down to the insect, everybody is just going through his past karmas. So whatever has to happen will happen. We cannot change it, however much we may try. Even if our intention is to save it, it may not happen. Balasya neha sharanam pitarau narsimha. If the Lord does not will it to happen, it will not happen. Mare Krishna rakhe ke, rakhe Krishna mare ke. If Krishna wants to protect someone, nobody can kill him. And if Krishna wants to kill someone, nobody can protect him. So, our intervention is not the real cause. The real cause is the wish of the Almighty, Krishna. So now, Maharaj Bharat, he became absorbed in the thought of I am Karta, I am the doer, I have to protect the deer, I have to save it. And in that way, in the beginning it started with duty. I have to save it, it's like it's like a dutiful person. But then it became more affectionate. This is how Maya enters. Maya enters not in a way that is at the very first thing, one becomes completely involved with Maya. No, it will come slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly and completely take over. The example is given, Prabhupada said, like the camel. There was a tent pitched up. I might again make some mistakes, as I usually do in narrating a story, so some detail may go wrong, but the main idea you will get. So basically the Bedouins, the nomads. So they were going on a camel in the desert. So they pitched up a tent at one place, and the camel was outside. So it was cold at night and hot during the day. That's how it is in the desert. And the camel wanted a little shelter. So first, because actually the tent is made for the humans, the men. But then the camel wanted some. So one of the men just was a bit, like, all right, let's give the camel a chance. Just let it put one foot inside, And then slowly the camel asked for two. No, I just want to put 2 feet. And then 2 feet, then the other 2 feet, 3 feet. Then finally 4 feet, and then all the camel took over the tent and threw the men out. So this is how Maya enters. It doesn't enter all at once. Maya is also very careful. Come on, she's very, very tactful. She will not immediately make you completely today you're chanting Hare Krishna, and tomorrow you're in the brothel. No, that doesn't happen like that. So Maya will come slowly and slowly and slowly, very, very imperceptibly, without we even noticing. Just like a hacker. A hacker will come very imperceptibly and then ruin the system. So like that. So it will present something very close to spiritual life first, but a little different. Just like Bharat Maharaj. So he was a very dutiful king. He was very taking care of his subjects like his own children, and everything was nice. So in the beginning, the Maya presented herself as a matter of duty. Oh, see, the deer needs protection. So as a king, he was always, Kshatriya means to give protection to his subjects, which include even the animals. Anybody born in the land is called a praja. So not just the human beings born in that land. Ja means janma, or whoever has taken birth. Praja means whoever has taken birth in that land. So that includes the animals, plants, everything. So a king is actually responsible for all of their welfare. So that sense of duty was evoked in Maharaj Bharat, which in that instance, it did not look very much harmful. Then he took it, he fell for it. Now the Maya will present just a little bit deviated, so much so that we don't even notice the deviation that is happening, like a tangent. The circle is there, and when tangent happens, in the beginning, the displacement is very, very small, and then slowly, as we do not even notice it, and then it will become so wide that the direction is entirely different. So, this is how Maya comes. So, you see, the purport. Prabhupada writes a very important thing here. from this we can understand how we have to be very cautious in executing our spiritual duties by observing the rules and regulations and regularly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If we neglect doing this, we will eventually fall down. We must rise early in the morning, bathe, attend Mangalarati, worship the deities, chant the Hare Krishna mantra, study the Vedic literatures and follow all the rules prescribed by the Acharyas and the spiritual master. If we deviate from this process, we may fall down even though we may be very highly advanced. Not that, maybe some bhaktas will fall down. I am already 25 years into the movement, I can relax a bit. No. This is very highly advanced can even fall down. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 5. One second. Yajna dana tapah karma. One second, I will just try to. Na tyajyam karyam evatat. So, yajna dana tapah karma, na tyajyam karyam evatat. Yajno danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. I'm just trying to format it properly because the words were not, they all got stuck together. So you see, yajna dana tapah karma na tyajyam karyam evatat yajno danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Acts of sacrifice, charity and penance are not to be given up but should be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity and penance purify even the great soul. Even if one is in the renounced order, he should never give up the regulative principles. That means even as a sannyasi, one should never give up. He should worship the deity and give his time and life to the service of Krishna. He should also continue following the rules and regulations of austerity and penance. These things cannot be given up. One should not think oneself very advanced simply because one has accepted the sannyas order. The activities of Bharat Maharaj should be carefully studied for one's spiritual advancement. See, the activities of Bharat Maharaj should be carefully studied for one's spiritual advancement. Where are the pitfalls? How it happens? Just like Arjuna in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, he felt himself duty bound to not fight the war. In the name of duty, Maya presented him attachment. We mistake when our primary understanding of life is wrong, then we mistake attachment to be duty. We are attached to our family member and therefore we think it is our duty to maintain them and to take care of them and everything. The real attachment should be that this family member is a servant of Krishna. He is not my family. There is no such thing as my family. There is no such thing. It is an illusion presented by Maya, first of all. But we have to remember that it is there, that we are stuck in that position now, in that illusory position. So the real duty of a family member is that he has to make his family members into devotees of Krishna, because they are supposed to serve Krishna. They are not his family members. This is an illusion. So we have heard this many times. We did, but we always forget. Always. We hardly remember. We hardly consider our family members as not our family members. You see? In fact, there is a verse in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 11th canto. Maybe somebody will take it up in the comments. So it says that a family man, a householder, should live in his house like a guest, not like a host, like a master of the family. No, he is not. That is all ahankar. He has to live in his house like a guest. That this is not his house, this is just, everything is Krishna's. What is that? Ishavāsamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Whatever was set aside as your quota, and that's everything else. Everything actually is the property of the Lord, but He has given you this much quota, so use it. And but try to always remember that everything belongs to the Lord, and don't waste time in accumulating more and more material assets. But just like in a hotel room, the hotel room is not yours. You're just there for a few days. And then why are you there? Maybe some business conference, or maybe some whatever it is. So you become busy with that, whatever is the purpose of your visit. So you don't care so much about the maintenance of the hotel room. Decently you will maintain, of course, because you have to stay there. But not that you will get overly caught up in decorating the hotel room and like, what is the point? What is the point? Why do you have to decorate the hotel room? Nobody does that. Similarly, we should not decorate our material life with so many unnecessary things. If you decorate your hotel room, it will look cute and nice. But what have you done? You have wasted the time, and maybe you have missed an appointment in the business meeting or whatever you have went for. So as much as people would appreciate such a decoration, but it's absolutely stupid to do that. So similarly, people in general in this material world, they do not have intelligence. They do not know what is the priority in life. They got everything wrongly oriented. So they may glorify material endeavors, material embellishments, but we, being very, very alert as devotees, we have to be extremely alert to see through that Maya and not be falling for those allurements of Maya. Because everybody say, oh, this is very beautiful, that is very beautiful, this is nice, we have to do this, should not do that. People will advise in so many ways, and they will present as if they are very successful as well. But a devotee should always see the flaw in that. We have to be extremely scrutinizing when we come to dealing with Maya. We cannot see any good in it. Prabhupada said we have to be pessimistic about anything in material life. We have to be pessimistic, because there is nothing optimistic here. There is nothing optimistic. The only optimism is that we have a chance to serve the Lord. So for the devotee, he actually takes it in the reverse way. When something reversal happens, so when something unfavorable, materially speaking, unfavorable happens, like now we are in a lockdown, and in Singapore today they have announced the lockdown to be extended by 1 more month. So seemingly it's disadvantageous position. But we here, by Krishna Katha, we are taking advantage of it. So actually, when there is a disadvantage materially, a spiritualist always sees it as a blessing. Always. Whereas a materialist gets frustrated with that, but a spiritualist takes that to be more of an encouragement than the so-called materially happy situations, or when everything is fine. In fact, he is more wary of such situations because it will make him feel comfortable in this material world, and then he will slacken his spiritual growth. Therefore, Kunti Devi prays, Vipada santuta shashva tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yat syat apunar bhavadarshanam. She says, no, Krishna, all our lives we have been going through so much of challenges, and now the challenges seem to have finished, and therefore you yourself are leaving us. This I fear. I fear this comfortable position, because this so-called comfort that is at this point comfortable, but in the long run it is going to be giving us birth and death cycle. But I want to be in that discomfort zone where I'm always aware of the danger of this material world. I'm always aware of the impending death. I prefer that, because in that my focus is very single pointed. Once this becomes a little comfortable, then my focus will immediately get diluted and then it will widen. Widen means I will see other things. But if you have to be one pointed, Ekeha Karunandana, we have to be always remembering these things. So to remember these things, it will not happen just automatically. Oh, I will read and I will remember. No, it will not happen. Or I will see this lecture and I will remember. No. we have to put it into practice. We have to take the shelter of the spiritual master. We have to take that decision that I want to follow the spiritual master's orders. Of course, in the association of devotees, such enthusiasm builds up. And one wants to. Prabhupada said, you can check your spiritual advancement when you wake up in the morning. If you want to, let me just sleep 5 more minutes, then we are most fallen. But if I wake up and then say, wow, okay, it's time for Mangalarti, let me wake up and get enthusiastically, if I want to go down and go and attend the Mangalarti, that means I am spiritually healthy. Where is the enthusiasm? So, if my enthusiasm is not there, that means I am spiritually in a precarious position. So this is to be understood. So if we can read that again, this line, that, you see, in the beginning Prabhupada says, from this we can understand how we have to be very cautious in executing our spiritual duties by observing the rules and regulations and regularly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If we neglect doing this, we will eventually fall down. We will. We must rise early in the morning, bathe, attend Mangalarati, worship the deities, chant the Hare Krishna mantra, study the Vedic literatures and follow all the rules prescribed by the Acharyas and the spiritual master. If we deviate from this process, we may fall down even though we may be very highly advanced. That advanced position is not a defense against all these, not following these things. No. Ours is not like a certificate program, that, what I mean, like when we study in the university and then we study very hard for the exams and then we pass the exams and then we get a certificate. Now, I got my certificate of diploma. I did not even go for a degree. So, my diploma certificate, I got it in 2007, which is like 13 years ago. Now, if you ask me, do I remember all that I learned in my college? I would say no. I think the same is true for every one of you who have studied and gotten your certificates way back. So, you wouldn't remember each and everything, hardly anything you remember from there. So, still, till the end of life, we will be known as a diploma holder or a degree holder or a master's or a PhD. The qualification of that person sticks after he gets that certificate on that one date. If whether he remembers whatever he has done to achieve that certificate, it doesn't matter. Until the end of life, he carries that title, doctor or something, whatever it is. Ours is not such a certificate program. If you have followed yesterday everything nicely, you can't be like, okay, yesterday you're a pure devotee, that's it. The whole life you're a pure devotee. No, if tomorrow I do not follow, or if today I have failed in following all the things, then I have fallen from my standard. So it's an everyday check and balance process. We have to study and examine ourselves every single day, every single moment. Smartavya satatam vishnur vismartavyo na jatu chit. So we have to test ourselves. Are we remembering Krishna all the time, or are we forgetting Krishna all the time? At this point, we hardly remember Krishna. Hardly. That's the whole point of chanting. Chanting means Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Just to focus on Krishna. That is the chanting. That is the meditation. Sometimes, people ask, what meditation? You all have any meditation you all do? I say, yeah, we do meditation. We do all the time. Our meditation is 24 hours a day. Meditation doesn't mean, that is not meditation. That is probably sitting and sleeping. 1 second. I'll just see whether I'm in frame, because I see this camera as, okay, I am in frame. Okay. So, meditation is not just like sitting and just making a show and closing eyes and blanking the mind. That is not meditation. Meditation means to think of Krishna. So, when we are selling books, sometimes people ask us, when do you meditate? Then I tell them, I am meditating now. I am speaking to you about Krishna, that means unless I am thinking of Krishna, I cannot speak to you about it, right? I have to think of Krishna in order to speak to you about it. So, that is meditation. Meditation should not be confined to a posture. Meditation should be all the time. All the time. Even Krishna told Arjuna, what is that? Mam anusmara yudhyacha. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. Arjuna, you meditate in this way. Sarveshu kaleshu, of all the time you think of me and at the same time you fight. Arjuna was fighting on the battlefield. He was releasing like about 60 arrows in a second. This was his speed. And at that time, he has to see at all directions, and then he is fighting so fast, and then he has to, check if anybody else is throwing any weapons at him, and he has to cut those weapons, and at the same time he has to kill so many thousands of people. Krishna is saying, at that time, when you're so busy, think of me. Meditate on me. How? So the thing is, love. Only love has the power for us to make us remember Krishna even at the most difficult hour. Just like the example is given by the acharyas. If a woman is married, but then she loves another man, although this is a very abominable thing in this material world, the example is given by acharya to highlight the method by which she thinks of the other person, and that has to be applied to the Lord. So now a woman, she is having a husband, but she loves another man. In the household duties, she will do everything carefully so that the husband does not think that she has any extramarital affair. So he doesn't doubt it. So that's what she wants. So she will do everything very carefully so that he is not suspecting her. At the same time, although she is doing everything nicely, she is not for a moment forgetting the other man. So although she is doing everything nicely here, she is focused on that man. So that way one has to love Krishna. Everything here he has to do, and at the same time he has to remember Krishna. Prabhupada gave another example where the village women, they carry a pot on their head in India with water, because they will have to walk quite a distance to get some water to the houses, and especially in summers. So they will get from a river or something. Then they will put the pot on their head, and they go in a group, and then they talk to each other, and then they are laughing and everything, but the pot is not falling. So while they are doing everything else, they are conscious of the pot, not like ha ha ha, and then the pot has fallen and then broken everything. So they do everything, but they never forget Krishna. So they never forget in this example the pot. So similarly, the devotee should tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. So our activities should be molded in such a way that I should not forget Krishna at any time. And it all starts in the morning. That sets the tone for the entire day. So if I don't do everything properly in the morning, then the whole day is, I may feel productive materially, I may be performing well in the office and everything. But just like Bharat Maharaj, he was very much attentive to the deer, very productive. I mean, he really took care of the deer very nicely. I mean, he has to get an A star for taking care of the deer. But he got an F in his spiritual life. He became a deer. So and people in general, they glorify the A+, the A star in the material life. They do. And especially when the child, he's trained in that way, academically, he's an A star student, straight A student, all subjects A and all this. People will glorify that, and we can easily get lost in that glorification, and then we can think that, by Krishna's mercy I got all A+. Sometimes devotees talk like that. By Krishna's mercy I was a straight A student. Just like Bharat Maharaj may say, by Krishna's mercy I took care of the deer very nicely. What happened? What happened to your spiritual life? So that's what. So Krishna's mercy is not that. That means we have lost Krishna's mercy. If we are giving any credit to our material, so-called success, and taking that to be Krishna's mercy, then we have misunderstood spiritual life. Misunderstood. So this has to be very deeply drilled into our psyche, completely. It has to, define our very existence. So this is another verse, 11:16:43. Yo vai van manasi samyag asamyachan dhiyayatihi tasya vratam tapo dhanam sravatyama ghatam bhuvat. What is that? A transcendentalist who does not completely control his words and mind by superior intelligence will find that his spiritual vows, austerities and charity flow away just as water flows out of an unbaked clay pot. A clay pot, when it is unbaked, when it is not completely baked, then when you pour water in it, the water will seep out because the clay is still wet and it will just, unless it is completely baked, then yes, it will hold water. So for our spiritual life to hold water, it has to be baked. So we cannot be half-baked devotees, just making a show. It is nowadays it's so easy to make a show. So easy. I just share a quote of Prabhupada on the Facebook and I become a very solid devotee. Wow, this person really likes Prabhupada and he's really following Prabhupada's instructions and he's sharing Prabhupada's instruction. Don't know what he's doing at home. Don't know what he's doing in his personal sadhana practice. So it's easy to show oneself as a devotee. But we have to be honest with ourselves. Have I taken to the spiritual process for this? That just to show other devotees, or what have I taken it for? I have taken it for my own good. And if I don't understand this, then I'm committing suicide. So I should take it as seriously as I can. As seriously as I can. There's nobody else we are cheating but ourselves. So we have to really understand this aspect, that it is for our own good. So then there is this other verse, we will also look at that, which is, what is that? 7:15-25. So basically, 7:15-25 Bhagavatam. Rajastamascha satvena satvam chopashamena cha etat sarvam gurau bhaktya purusho hyanjasa jayet. Rajastamascha satvena. Raja means passion, tamah means ignorance, satvena means by goodness. So now, one must conquer the modes of passion and ignorance by developing the mode of goodness. Okay, one must conquer the modes of passion and ignorance by developing the mode of goodness. And then one must become detached from the mode of goodness by promoting oneself to the platform of Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness. All this can be automatically done if one engages in the service of the spiritual master with faith and devotion. In this way, one can conquer the influence of the modes of nature. You see this? Crossing over the modes, we have to, Bhagavad Gita chapter 14 text 26, actually that is quoted I think in the purport. So it says that Mam chayo vyabhicharena, Mam chayo avyabhicharena. What is that? Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitya itan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. If you want to rise above the three modes, then we have to engage in devotional service avyabhicharena, without deviation. Vyabhichari means prostitute, who is always not fixed. She's always hopping from one man to another. So we cannot be like that. We have to be avyabhicharena, exactly the opposite. Fixed, absolutely chaste and fixed to the order of the spiritual master. Then Sagunan Samatitya we can rise above the three modes and then come to the platform of Shuddha Sattva, and there we can actually really advance in spiritual life. That is a real advancement. Now in the purport, let's read the purport of this verse. Just by treating the root cause of an ailment, one can conquer all bodily pains and sufferings. Remember this. Just by treating the root cause of an ailment or a disease will show up as different symptoms. Maybe one has uneasiness in the stomach, or maybe the bowel movement is not constant or regular, or one may be having a headache, one may be having nausea, anything. So there are so many symptoms. Oh, I have to solve stomach problem, I have to solve my bowel problems, I have to solve my nausea problem. But maybe everything is just related to one thing. There's one problem which is causing all these symptoms. So these are symptoms of the real problem. So they are not problems in themselves. They are symptoms of another problem, an underlying problem. So we have to go to that thing under the thing. It shows up as something, but we have to go to the thing under that thing, which is the real cause. So just by treating the root cause of an ailment, one can conquer all bodily pains and sufferings. Similarly, if one is devoted and faithful to the spiritual master, he can conquer the influence of Sattvagun, Rajagun and Tamagun very easily. Yogis and Jñānis practice in many ways to conquer the senses, but the Bhakta immediately attains the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the mercy of the spiritual master. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. If the spiritual master is favorably inclined, one naturally receives the mercy of the Supreme Lord, and by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, one immediately becomes transcendental, conquering all the influences of Sattvagun, Rajagun and Tamagun within this material world. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Sagunan Samatityaitan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate, 1426. If one is a pure devotee acting under the directions of the Guru, one easily gets the mercy of the Supreme Lord and thus becomes immediately situated on the transcendental platform. This is explained in the next verse. So, devotees, we tend to become slackened a bit, like saying that, Gaurnita is very merciful, they are in this Kali Yuga, we don't need to even surrender, we don't need to follow anything, just by the mercy of Gaurnita we can, go back to Godhead, there's no offense in chanting their names or in their worship, we can do any damn thing we like. No. Gaurnita is, if you actually see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was very, very strict also. Yes, he is very merciful, but he was very, very strict. He just saw that Chota Haridas, he understood that Chota Haridas looked at a woman. He was a sannyasi. And he looked at a woman, just looked. And it was not even so strongly, and just looked. For a moment, he felt slight attraction for a woman. Not even very strongly. And that's it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just rejected him until even that the Chota Haridas committed suicide. Still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, that is very good. Let him commit suicide. No, he actually already committed suicide, and the devotees told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he could not see you anymore, he committed suicide. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, well, that's very good. That's the proper atonement for a sannyasi. So, we can't think that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very merciful, I can do any damn thing I like. No, it doesn't mean that. He says, whatever we have done until now, yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, allowing us, he is agreeing to forget and forgive. He will not forget it, nothing he forgets. Past, present and future, he remembers everything. So he is ready to forgive. But we cannot repeat our sinful habits again and again. That is unforgivable. Even to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even when he asked Jagai and Madhai, you give up your ways and never to go back again and chant Hare Krishna. Then yes, they received the mercy. So they agreed, and they never went back to their sinful habits, and that's why they became great devotees. So that has to be happening, that we have to give up our materialistic tendencies. So we will go through some of other quotes of Srila Prabhupada. I think it's quite clear for all devotees that we have to become serious, but just in case, we are still not convinced, We can go through some of the quotes of Srila Prabhupada. Sorry. Here. No, that's Mangalaratrika means Aratrika. So Arati or Aratrika, so same thing. So Mangalaratrika means auspicious beginning of your day. If you stand before Mangalaratrika, in Vrindavan you see now every temple, as soon as there is 4 o'clock, the ding dong bell immediately begins. So that is Mangalarati. Mangal means auspicious. Mangalaratrika means it's the most auspicious beginning of your day. Nowadays, all these productivity gurus, like this is mundane motivational productivity gurus or whatever, they talk about having a morning routine, morning ritual. You all should have a morning ritual, they say. And the ritual is just like writing in some diary on what are the tasks for today, and some meditation, some blanking of the mind. They talk about these aspects as a morning ritual, and they say they very religiously follow that, and then they see advancement in their productivity or whatever they say. So if it is important for even a materialist to have a morning ritual, how much it is even more important for us? A ritual is something which we do, which is like a stipulation. But then we have to do with full understanding. And spiritual ritual, that is actually the ritual comes from the spiritual aspect. They just use all these terms for in their own way, whimsical ways. But actually the ritual comes from the spiritual practice. That is a real morning ritual. So that in our case is the Mangalarti and the whole morning program. We start the day with that most auspicious activity. So here he is giving some, these are compilations. Actually this is the Vanipedia, vaniquotes.org. I'm just reading of that website. So, so many instructions of Srila Prabhupada about Mangalarti. So we'll just read them. We'll just read all of this in sequence. All the presidents of our centers should see that all the members are strictly observing the Brahmanical standards, such as rising early, cleansing at least twice daily, means bathing twice daily, reading profusely, Mangalarti, like that. So this should be the practice, not only in the temples. Sometimes devotees think, these are for the temple. Temple, they can do, they have nothing else to do, whole day they can do all these things, we have work, we have so many things. So, eventually we have to think that eventually we are making this commitment to Srila Prabhupada to go back to Godhead. So whether at the time of death, if I am not Kṛṣṇa conscious, I cannot give this excuse to Yamaraj, saying that, see, Yamaraj, you should excuse me because I was a householder. I was not a brahmachari, I was not a sannyasi. So I had my duties, so I cannot involve as fully as the sannyasis and brahmacharis, and therefore you have to excuse me, and you have to allow me into the spiritual world. I have to go to the spiritual world, not the Yamadutas. Vishnudutas must come because they must understand I'm a grihastha. There is no such leniency in the law of Krishna, in the law of karma, unfortunately. So, there is no such consideration. There's only one thing. Either we remember Krishna or we forget him at the time of death. And that's what determines our next term of existence. So if we somehow or other, whatever we did, bhajan karo, sadhan karo, murti jaan le hoy. Whatever we did in our life will be tested at the time of death. So are we going to be Kṛṣṇa conscious at the time of death or I am not? That is what matters. And grihastha means, Prabhupada said, 75% chance of going back to Godhead is finished. It's finished. There's no chance there. It's so slim chance. 3/4 of the life is just wasted in other distractions. And if I think Oh, let the brahmacharis and sannyasis do. The grihasthas, we can be a bit relaxed. Hare, they have to be 4 times as serious because they have 1/4 chance now. The grihasthas must be 4 times as serious. But of course, in grihastha life there are so many distractions. It is very hard to be serious. Therefore, the grihasthas must constantly associate with the full-time devotees and get the inspiration and then do it in their own. Actually speaking, it's not very difficult. It's not at all difficult to do Mangalarti. I mean, we are not asking sky-high levels of tapasya. Not that you have to go to the Himalayas and then meditate like Tulsi Maharani 100,000 celestial years, and then with the fruits and for 20,000 years, and like water for 30,000 years, and then air for the next 40,000 years. No, nor are we doing that. What are we saying? Prabhupada said, where is the difficulty? Where is the tapasya in our movement at all? Where is the tapasya? Waking up early in the morning is good for your health even. So, and wake up in the morning and have some nice singing. We are starting our day with a nice song. And then, Mangalarti prayers and Hare Krishna singing. And then Narasimha Arti. How blessed we will be if we start all our day in this way. And then Narasimha song, and then Tulsi Arti. And pretty much, and then if you are in the house, especially, most of you are in the houses and not at the temple, you can play the Prabhupada, lecture, and then you can chant your rounds, and then on your way to the office you can chant when you are, in the lunchtime or coming back, and then you can hear some Prabhupada lectures in the lunchtime or some, and then you can try to preach to your colleagues. There's so many ways you can be Kṛṣṇa conscious. It's not very difficult. It just takes the morning program, especially from the Mangalarti to the Tulsi Puja. And after that, yes, as householders you will not have elaborate dressing of the deity. So actually, Prabhupada wanted it very simple at house, at the home, so that one comes to the temple actually and do the worship. So you can actually just do a simple arati, or if you don't have any paraphernalia for arati, you can just sing those songs privately for your own self, and you can start off the day, and after Tulsi Arati, then you can chant a bit and then start your day. So we can always do this. Anybody can do this. Not that, Prabhu, I am a grihastha, I cannot. No, why cannot? Why cannot? If we cannot means we are not disciple. Prabhupada says it's a fallen position. We have to. There's no other. What if this? What if that? No, you have to. What if your night shift? Then in the morning time, at the Mangalarti time, sing those songs privately to yourself. That should be the practice. No matter what, I cannot compromise on this. I have to sing Mangalarti song, and then the Narasimha song, Tulsi Arati song, and Shikshashtaka, and then 10 offenses, and then I start my day, my chanting. This has to go on every time. So, all temple members without exception must rise by 4 a.m. and attend Mangalarti. Everyone living in the temple must agree to the standard by proper understanding of the philosophy of tapasya. Or see, Prabhu, this is about temple members only. Yeah, but do we think that we have any there will be any leniency? Death will show any leniency? So yes, temple members of course must. And those who are initiated also must. Initiated means you're a disciple. And those who are serious about initiation. And some people say, Prabhu, I want to practice Kṛṣṇa consciousness, I want to advance in spiritual life, but I don't want to take initiation because if I get initiated, then if I don't follow, then I'll commit offense. So I don't want to commit that offense. So I will just do my non-Mangalarti, non-waking up in the morning kind of spiritual life, and in that way I will advance. No, sorry, you cannot advance. You first of all, Adav Guru Ashrayam. First of all, take instruction. Take shelter of the Guru and follow the instruction. There's no such thing as, if I take initiation, then I don't follow, then I fall down. Yes, of course you'll fall down. But if you don't take initiation, you are already fallen. So not that by following without taking initiation, you will somehow advance, you somehow escape all the tapasya and then finally make success. No, you cannot. You just cannot. We can't do that. So we should not try to cheat and try to find some loopholes in the whole thing. There is no loophole. There is absolutely no loophole. This material world, as we've seen, is very, very tightly packed. The universe is tightly packed. However much is one is a lockpick or a hacker or whatever, he cannot hack through these coverings of the universe. is so tightly packed shell, 4 billion miles in diameter, and then 40 billion miles earth layer, 400 billion miles water layer, and 4 trillion miles fire layer. How are you going to pass? This is the material world. We can't hack it. The only way is Krishna makes the hole and then he takes us out. That he can do. We cannot hack a hole. We can take our hammer and hack the 40 billion, 40 billion mile earth layer and the coverings of the universe. First of all, go to the covering of the universe. Can't even go to moon properly. So, we can't escape. We cannot find all these loopholes. No. We have to be strict. As president, you must make sure that all the students are regularly chanting 16 rounds, taking bath, attending Mangalarati, reading our books, and following the regulative principles. If everyone keeps strictly these principles, then success is assured. Prabhupada is blessing, you see. Success is assured if we keep strictly to these principles. What are those? Chanting 16 rounds, taking bath, attending Mangalarati, reading our books, Prabhupada books, and then following the regulative principles. If everyone keeps strictly these principles, not just, Prabhu, I have only promised. Some devotees, they say like this, Prabhu, why are you telling new rules? When I took initiation, I was asked by the Ṛtvik representative, Sundar Gopal Prabhu in our case. I was asked only whether whether I am chanting 16 rounds and following 4 principles. He never asked me about Mangalarti, so I agreed for those principles. I did not agree for Mangalarti all. Some devotees, there are innumerable excuses I can give. So, disciple means, therefore, I think we should ask, maybe, even the devotees when they are getting initiated, are you following everything and eating only prasadam? That we ask, eating prasadam we ask. I think Mangalarti also we have to ask maybe. Because if devotees do not understand what it means to be a disciple, rather not get initiated. And don't think that, oh yeah, that's good actually, yeah, I will not get initiated, I'll just be a strict follower of Prabhupada's and be a follower of Prabhupada but not initiated. Sorry. Then one can become an animal. See, the moment we try to cheat the process, cheat Krishna will cheat us in such a bad way that we will learn our lesson forever. So we want such harsh treatment, or we better learn it when Krishna says, and just learn it and then become serious. So it's in our hands. So I'm sorry, this tone of this today's session is a bit strong, but I think that's what is necessary. Rather hear these strong statements rather than, going to hell and, those not going to be statements anymore, those are going to be beatings only. So, and repeated birth and death, like Shankaracharya said, Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. We want to go through that. Iha samsare bahudustare, kripaya pare pahi murare. He's saying, very beautiful verse. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Again birth again and death again. And punarapi janani jathare shayanam. Again we want to sleep in the womb of another mother. Again we want to be delivered from the womb of another mother. And maybe, nowadays the mothers do abortion. Maybe I will be aborted. And go into another mother's womb and aborted. And then going another mother's womb and aborted. So we want to go through all this. Punarapi janani jathare shayanam. Iha samsare bahudustare. This material world is impossible. Mama maya duratyaya, Krishna is saying. Impossible to cross. Kripaya pare pahi murare. So he is praying. Shankaracharya is, of course, he is a Lord Shankara himself. So actually he is a devotee, although he presented a wrong philosophy on the order of Narayana. Because he is a devotee in this song, Moha Mudgara. So he is really, Moha Mudgara is that song, that whole 33 verses, that stotra, is so strong. Mudgara means hammer. He is beating. Moha Mudgara means this hammer to beat the illusion out of the minds. So the whole tone of that whole prayer is very, very strong. So it's not just very nice and very, very soft and nobody understands any hard statements. No, it was very hard. It's very hard. So anyway, that is what we require. Because the moha must be shattered to pieces, and for that the hammer is required. Moha mudgara. Prabhupada is saying, as you are my appointed leader, you must also see that the others are following very strictly the regulative principles like chanting 16 rounds, reading my books regularly, rising early for Mangalartrika. Again, so we in the temple, it is our duty to Srila Prabhupada to make sure that all you devotees, and even us of course, we all have to follow. That is the duty entrusted by Prabhupada to us as well. So that's why we are holding this strengthening foundation, so that it is our duty, we are duty bound. You see, he said, as you are my appointed leader, you must also see that the others are following very strictly in the regulative principles like chanting 16 rounds, reading my books, which I see many devotees, they hardly do seriously. My books regularly, rising early for Mangalartrika, like that. So, see, by simply following this process without deviation, chanting 16 rounds, following the 4 regulative principles, attending classes and Mangalarati, rising early, these things will gradually bring you to the platform of pure love of Krishna. If you want to come to pure love of Krishna, this is the way. No point thinking of, what is my form in the spiritual world? What is my service in the spiritual world? How does ecstasy, how to get that, every time I read that goosebumps, that the hair standing on, and how to get that? Follow. Mangalarti first, wake up Mangalarti first. Then talk about the hair standing. First of all, we stand for Mangalarti. We are sleeping nicely. We have to stand first for our hairs to stand later. Chant 16 rounds daily, attend Mangalarti and classes, etc., and you will be very happily engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa. Never let a moment go without engaging in at least one of the 9 devotional processes. How nicely Prabhupada is saying. Never let a moment go by without engaging in at least one of the 9 devotional processes. Hearing, chanting, remembering, offering, archana, deity worship, or pada sevanam, or any service. So our whole life must be like that. Because what is that? That verse we read the other day. Even one moment lost in forgetfulness of Krishna is the greatest loss, is the greatest anomaly. Everything is the greatest illusion. I think 4th canto somewhere in the purport is there. So this is very important. Deity worship is compulsory and you can increase if you have got time to do so. But Mangalartrik is essential. Morning Arati and Sandhartrik, evening Arati is essential, and offering of prasadam to deity is essential. So this is for the puja. So morning Mangalartri and evening. So now we have 7 Aratis in the day. Some temples, they cannot do so many because they have to go out for book distribution and they are very tight in manpower. So 2 things, morning and Sandhya Arati is very important. Enthusiastic mood is maintained when everyone is always without fail chanting 16 rounds daily, rising early for Mangalarti, reading books, preaching. Enthusiastic mood is maintained when everyone is following these things. Utsahan. One of the Rupa Goswami's principles is Utsaha. Utsaha means enthusiasm. So one will be enthusiastic to do service when he is following the morning program, especially the Mangalarti. We have to follow this. In fact, whenever Prabhupada was presented with any problem by the devotees, they say that, I have this problem, I have that problem, I cannot, get along with this devotee, that devotee. First thing that Prabhupada asks is, are you chanting 16 rounds? Are you following the 4 principles? Are you attending morning Mangalarti? And are you reading my books? Somewhere or other they are failing. Eventually, some or the other thing they will fail. And that's why they are having these problems. So the problems happen. If I am having any problem, it is because of my lack of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. I have to understand that. Because Kṛṣṇa consciousness is ahaituki apratihata. There is nothing that can check the progress of my Kṛṣṇa consciousness. If something is checking the progress of my Kṛṣṇa consciousness, it is because I am not following the instructions. The only problem is me. It may appear as a problem from somebody else and this and that, but why I am not being able to handle, it may be a actually very simple problem. It can be easily handled if one is Kṛṣṇa conscious. But because one is not, one gets uptight about things that one should not get uptight about. And only when we are focused spiritually, only then we will not pay much attention, because they are not due. We are giving undue attention to unnecessary things. That's why we are getting all caught up. and our mind is giving us so much problems? Because we are giving undue attention to unnecessary things. We have to learn how to give attention to the spiritual sadhana, our sadhana. Morning Mangalarti and chanting and then Tulasi Arati, everything. Then, and then hearing Prabhupada and then reading his books. This has to be a very diligent practice every day for devotees. Then, what would have been a problem will not even be a problem at all for devotees who are following. So many problems can actually be eliminated there itself, because matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkha. The example is good. Shitoshna sukha dukkha. When there is summer and winter, what we do? We tolerate. Because anyway we cannot change that situation. If the sun is shining hot, what can we do about it? We can't ask the sun, hey, I am going out, I am the VIP, what is this? You cool down. You cannot say anything. Whatever the sun wants to do, he will do. So, but we think we can tell somebody, or if he is disturbing my, me in some way, then I can tell him and I can get that problem out. If I cannot get it out, of course I will tolerate. Like if there is too much sun, maybe I'll put an umbrella on, maybe I'll put a wrap on my head or something like that. I will just do something to, cover that and tolerate it and get along with my business. I will not complain that, the sun is shining brightly, I will not go, too much, the sun is too much, I will not say, I will just tolerate and go, right? Or if it is raining, people still go to work, right? Why? Because they just tolerate it, but they can't do anything about it. They can't do, hey, Indra, what is this nonsense? I am going to work, my work is important, I have to earn money for my family, what you are doing? There's no way I can do it. I just have to tolerate, I have to put an umbrella, a raincoat and go along, that's it. Similarly, so we don't pay much unnecessary, undue attention to try to stop the rain. Why? It is futile anyway. But because our attempts to, we try, when it comes to people, that's why I say adhyatmik, adhibhautik, adhidaivik. The most difficult to control is adhibhautik, because adhyatmik, if adhyatmik means the problems caused by my own body and mind, I cannot do much about it. I will not also beat myself up too much because I want to pamper myself. So I will not do anything. So my mind is not so disturbed. A little disturbed, yeah, but not much. Adhidaivik, when this rain comes or sun or whatever, now it's virus, we just stay put. We just although it is difficult, we just agree to be locked down. So because we can't do much about it, we can't fight with, hey virus, why you are doing this? We cannot tell anything like that. So when it is beyond our control, it is easy to follow them. It is easy to tolerate to an extent, because we take it for granted. Easier to tolerate in the sense that we won't make the futile attempt of trying to stop it. But the problem with adhibhautik is, first of all, the problem is we are always looking for faults in others, not me. So when somebody disturbs, it's see, that person is because this is the reason why I'm having problems. He's the problem. So I will try to get somehow to solve the problem now. So in that process of solving the problem, we get into all kinds of entanglements and waste our valuable time, which can be actually used in Krishna's service, because one moment lost cannot be gotten back even with millions and millions of dollars. So that is also a verse is there by Chanakya Pandit. So one moment lost cannot be gotten back. So why should we waste? So whatever we can avoid, we can avoid. The devotee only will fight somebody when that person is blasphemous to Krishna or other devotees. That's when, yes, that is part of his spiritual duty. So he is not getting distracted. No, spiritual duty, that is actually spiritual duty. That is a proper use of anger in the service of the Lord. So, but otherwise, the anger is actually a distraction. When it is for myself, it is a distraction. I just have to tolerate it and get along with not lose focus on remembering Krishna, because all these are just allurements by Maya to make us forget Krishna. They may present, the Maya may present herself as an excuse for us to become either lusty or by anger or moha or greed or something. In different ways, Maya will come. So, going on. Every morning I go to the temple and see the deity and offer obeisances. So I expect each and every one of my disciples should also follow what I have given in this connection. Arising early, taking bath, attending Mangalarti. So Prabhupada is saying it's an order. It's an order. I expect each and every one of my disciples. So now it is no more temple people only, every one of my disciples. Everyone should be very alert in their behavior. Rise early in the morning, taking bath, be prepared for Mangalarati immediately. Then class. Everyone should join the Mangalarati. Gradually we should become more regulated and strict for following the rules and regulations. Otherwise, we shall fall down. Following the basic principles that I have given, chanting 16 rounds daily, following the 4 regulative principles, rising early, attending Mangalarati and classes, this is of the utmost importance. If we have to, our ISKM, if we have to spread our movement, we cannot spread by being shallow. When the water is shallow, why, those who, I saw this, my parents and others also, elders, when they drink tea, when the tea is hot in the cup, they pour it on the saucer. Why? Because the surface area is more and it's shallow and easily it gets cooled down and then evaporated. So that's why they do that. But in the cup it is like deep. So when it is shallow, it's easily evaporated. So the oceans, they never get dry because they're very deep. Even the hottest sun, the oceans won't go dry unless it's at the time of devastation, that everything is devastated. So otherwise, our daily experience, regular experience, is that the oceans never go dry because it's not shallow. But if suppose it was very shallow, easily they can be dried up, right? So we also have to be very deep in our following. We cannot, otherwise our movement, we cannot grow. We cannot grow by being, not serious about our processes, about our sadhana. That will give us the strength to push forward. If we are not strong in that, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go. Everything will fail. Because there's no mangal, there's nothing mangal about it anymore. Mangalarati, we don't wake up for that. Mangal means auspiciousness. There's nothing auspicious anymore. So, this is very important. Get married outside the temple, take all risk for supporting wife and home, live outside the temple like that. But they should live nearby and take part as much as possible in temple activities such as Mangala, Ṛtvik, Sankirtan, etc. So you see, this was Prabhupada's instruction for the householders. They should live nearby the temple and come for Mangalarti and attend all the temple programs. In fact, he did not want to have separate deity worship at home also. Of course, sometimes he encouraged, but especially when he saw that devotees make excuse of, I need to worship Krishna at my home, so I cannot come to the temple. That Prabhupada absolutely did not like it. So you should understand that Krishna is the same whether in the home or here, and it is better to always serve him in the association of devotees. So the deity worship at home should not be a hindrance for one to come to the temple. That's why he wanted the disciples to keep the deity worship at home very simple, very, very simple, and then come to the temple. Associate more and more with the devotees. Actually, Prabhupada wanted his Grihastha disciples to come morning and evening to the temple. In that way, associate with devotees, talk to them, do service, like that. Even that is not being possible now, you see. I see once in a week, Mangalarti. Some are coming, some are not even coming, even after getting initiated. So, these are not all good. It doesn't mean that, I got initiated, that's it, I am saved. Prabhupada will take me back to Godhead. No. If that is the understanding of initiation, absolutely they have got it wrong. So, initiation means I will follow the instructions of Prabhupada. And then, if I follow, then Prabhupada is, he will take us back, he said. So, otherwise, there is no contract. The contract is broken on my side. I have broken the contract. So, Prabhupada is not obliged to take us back. He will not take us back. Because if you are not ready, even if you have the best guru, but if you are not ready, if you are not following, so we cannot go back to the spiritual world. Just because I have Prabhupada as my spiritual master, so, I will go back. No, we will not go back. We have to follow. Prabhupada said the leader in the birds when they are flying in the sky, the leader bird will lead the path. He will go here and go there and all the birds follow. So it looks like one unison, everybody is moving in unison. So, but each bird in that formation has to flap his wings. The leader bird will show the way, but then to actually follow that path, all the other follower birds have to flap their wings. So if the follower bird thinks, let the leader bird, lead me, I will go back, I will go to the destination, then he will fall down because he has not flapped his wings. So that flapping of the wings means we have to do our part and follow his instruction. Then yes, we are assured of the destination of Godhead. But otherwise there is no assurance. No, we are definitely going to fall. Gurukul boys are chanting about Krishna. They are rising early in the morning, attending Mangalartrika. Anyone goes there. Even the education superintendent came to visit our temple. He was astonished at how these children are happy. In fact, Prabhupada did not want all this material education. He said, our children in the Gurukul, he started his own Gurukul system. So they should rise, wake up for Mangalarti. So actually one devotee once asked, should there be any certificate? Prabhupada said, waking up for Mangalarti, that is a certificate. Because ours is not that certificate program. Okay, today you have woken up for Mangalarti, you have a certificate that you are a wake-upper for Mangalarti, and that your whole life you just carry in the certificate, I wake up for Mangalarti. No, every day we have to just do it. It is not a one-off certificate program. No, it's an everyday thing. I am glad to hear that in your temple no one misses Mangalarti and everyone is becoming steady and peaceful in their service. It sounds as if you are taking care of your men very nicely. This is first class management. First class management means that everybody is attending the temple programs, especially the morning Mangalarti, and everyone is becoming steady and peaceful in their service. Why sometimes there is friction between devotees? Because somebody is not following. So therefore there is friction. If everybody follows, there will be no friction. Everything will be peaceful. I am requesting again and again that all of my disciples simply follow. See, I am requesting again and again. He is humbly putting it as a request, but it is an order for a disciple. It is not, Prabhupada is requesting. Okay, I will try to do something for Prabhupada. No. When Prabhupada says like that, he is humbly saying requesting, but actually it is an order. Understand? I am requesting again and again that all of my disciples simply follow all of the rules and regulations very strictly. Rising early, chanting 16 rounds, attending Mangalarti and class, etc. are all essential for spiritual development. I have written Mahamsa Swami one letter asking him if it is possible for you to return to Hyderabad. Wherever you go, always be sure to chant at least 16 good rounds and rise early, attend Mangalarti, study my books and serve Krishna without stop. See, not only Mangalarti, even reading Prabhupada books. If one follows Mangalarti and don't read Prabhupada books, also his understanding of everything will dwindle. Everything we must do, not just one, everything we must do. Not just only reading books and not Mangalarti, no, that also is bad. Everything must be done. And it's not very difficult. We're just asking people to read, we're asking people to just rise up earlier. Which is not the 100,000 celestial years tapasya of Tulsi Devi, come on. I hope you are being very careful to strictly observe all of our basic rules and regulations, such as rising early before 4 a.m., attending Mangalarti and classes. If you simply keep to our standard program, that means chanting early, daily 16 rounds, rising early, attending Mangalarti like that. If this program is strictly maintained amongst all the devotees, they will remain pure. If you think of Krishna just like here in temple, if you come and as the other devotees are doing, if you attend Mangalarti, if you attend Bhogarti, always see or then offer obeisances, then naturally you will think of Krishna always. In your traveling from center to center, you must be very careful to see that the leaders are observing the principles of chanting 16 rounds, rising early for Mangalarti, accepting the morning and evening classes, participating in the morning and evening classes. It is not that every man has to be made a Brahmana after a year, especially if one cannot even get up early and go to Mangalarti, he cannot become a Brahmana. So consider it carefully before you recommend further men to me. Wow, this is very important. I like this. We'll repeat it. If it is not that every man has to be made a Brahmana after a year, especially if he cannot even get up early and go to Mangalarti, he cannot become a Brahmana. So consider it carefully before you recommend further men to me for initiation. So sometimes they say, Prabhu, I have already initiated first initiation and then it has been like 4 years now, I want to get Brahmin initiation. Sometimes devotees ask. But the point is this, am I waking up for Mangalarti every day? Am I reading Prabhupada's books? Brahmana means Brahma Janati ti Brahmana. He has to know spiritual knowledge also. Are we reading Prabhupada's books? If you don't read, what knowledge we will have? And then there's the Brahmana, and then they're sending their children to big universities and where is the understanding? Where is the understanding? The children must be brought up in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Or I am also doing big job and I am not following everything. I am not eating prasadam. Why Brahmana then? Why Brahman initiation? What is it for? Why are they even interested in taking a Brahman initiation? I don't understand these things. So here Prabhupada is very clearly saying that if he cannot get up early and go to Mangalarti, he cannot become a Brahmana. A Brahmana means not just knowing big Shastra only. No, he has to live by the Shastra. And that means first thing he has to wake up in the morning. Otherwise, not even a Brahmana. It is not that everyone has to be made a Brahmana just because he has initiated one or two or any number of, he has been initiated one or two or any number of years. Especially if one cannot even rise early for Mangalarti, he should never be given Brahmanical initiation. Never. This is how serious it is. So, all of you devotees who are watching this, if you are initiated, if you are getting serious into devotional life, otherwise we won't even watch this. So, every one of you, me included, all of us, we have to take these things very seriously. No, it's not that only once a week. No, when I come to temple I will attend Mangalarti. Other days I will just sleep. No, even at home you have to do Mangalarti. Have to do. It is your responsibility to see that these devotees that you have recommended strictly follow the rules and regulations, chanting 16 rounds, attending the classes and the Mangalarti and refraining from the 4 prohibitions. So especially if one cannot even rise early for Mangalarti, he should never be given Brahmanical initiation. So how? Keep yourself strong in Kṛṣṇa consciousness by following all of my basic principles. That is of utmost importance. Do not fail to chant 16 rounds, rise early, come to Mangalarti, come to classes and follow the 4 regulative principles. You may ask, Prabhu, you are reading the same thing over and over again. It's just about Mangalarti, chanting 16 rounds, reading my books. It's the same thing you are saying every time. That's precisely the point. I am saying the same thing every time. Because that's the very thing that we are failing at. So, I guess we will read another few more. My instruction is that all of my disciples must attend the Mangalarti and chant 16 rounds daily. Never neglect to chant your 16 rounds of beads daily, rise early without fail, attend Mangalarti, take bath and follow the other regulative principles and everything will come out very successfully. You can rest assured of that. Preacher means when you become fully Kṛṣṇa conscious by worshipping the deity regularly as we have got prescription, to rise early in the morning, offer Mangalarati, then Kirtan, then class, in this way practicing. Rising early, attending Mangalarti and holding classes, chanting 16 rounds daily, observing the 4 basic principles, no intoxication, meat eating, etc., then everything will be a great success. Everything else that we do, we may have big plans of preaching, we have big plans, nothing will work if we are not following. No, ours is not just to, we have done this and then show some photos and then post on Facebook and get a million likes and then wow, you see, they are such a good preacher. No. All that likes won't help anyway at the time of Yamaraj. Yamaraj won't ask, hey, how many likes you got on Instagram for your preaching that Food for Life video? He will not ask. How many comments or likes you got for that Rath Yatra festival photo? No, he will not ask. He will see, well, how much have you chanted? Have you remembered Krishna all the time and how many times have you chanted? That is going to be the... So, yes, preaching is good. It's not that I am saying we should not post any pictures of festivals. We should. Of course we should. We should spread the news of Kṛṣṇa consciousness everywhere. But the real success is in our day-to-day activities. Whether we are doing everything properly. Like all these things that Prabhupada is repeating. What is that? Chanting 16 rounds, following 4 principles, attending Mangalarti, reading his books, taking Krishna Prasadam. These are the things that are real indices of success. The real index. Indices is just the plural of index. So, strictly following the regulative principles, the 4 prohibitions as well as the devotional practices of arising early, taking morning bath, putting on tilak, attending Mangalarti, chanting Japa 16 rounds and attending Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class. That is the whole morning program. The students must all attend morning and evening Aarti and classes. If we follow the simple program along with the regular Sankirtan, distributing the books and preaching, then there will be no fall down. The test is within our hand. If during Mangalarti we feel laziness, that means I have not yet spiritually advanced. And if one feels enthused, now it is time for Mangalarti, let me stand up and let me do this, then it is spiritual. Otherwise it is material. devotional service in the mode of ignorance, passion, then everything will come, all the pride, and one thinks he's a big time devotee, and suddenly hey, you have to give me respect, I'm a big time devotee. All this stupidity will come when we don't follow, when we are in the modes of passion and ignorance. We'll make a fool out of ourselves. These regulative functions of chanting the round 16 daily, rising early in the morning to attend Mangalarati, holding classes for studying our scripture and going on Sankirtan, these items must not be neglected. They should be taught just to do like the elders, that is, rise early, cleanse, attend Mangalarati, read our literatures, chant, go for Sankirtan, like that. And besides that, a little ABC, mathematics, geography, history, that's all. This was Prabhupada's program for children. What is that? So, because the devotees asked him, what should be the program for children? Is there any special children's program? Somewhere there's some fun, some fun activities. Prabhupada said, no, they should be taught just to do like the elders. That is, rise early. No, Prabhu, they are children, Prabhu. We'll have children's class at maybe 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock or evening, something. No. Children, rise early. If they don't learn now, they're never going to learn. Anyway, for school, they are rising early, right? School, at least in Singapore, they have to rise early. 5 o'clock, you have to rise, before even 5 sometimes, and then go to school. So, for that they can do. Why can't they do for anything spiritual? That means they are not interested. The parents also not interested. They don't think it is important. This is a disease. They should be taught just to do like the elders. That is, rise early, cleanse, means immediately take bath, attend Mangalarati, read our literatures. Read our literature also. Children also must read. They can read the storybook and Krishna storybook. And nowadays there are children's storybooks also, Krishna stories. Let them read. That is the way. You may think, that will bore them, they want some. Yeah, of course, children will play. Let them play. And the games also, Prabhupada actually taught how to, let them play. Let them play like, those cowherd boys games. One person can be the Krishna, one can be the demon, one can be the cowherd boys, like this. He also, if you see his instructions on Gurukul, which is another topic, then he mentioned all these things. Everything should be centered around Krishna. See, they rise early, the children also rise, Mangalarati and everything. Cleanse, attend Mangalarati, read our literature, chant, go for Sankirtan also. Distributing books, all this. Why cannot? Actually, you think they will get bored. No, they will actually become spiritually enlivened. Once they follow everything properly. Like that. And besides that, a little ABC. See, this is his material side of it. What children should learn. A little ABC, mathematics, geography, history, that's all. No need of going in depth and all these, unnecessary things. No. Become educated in this way. As long as you can read, write, and then mathematics, geography, like you should at least know what country is, at least you have, you have to have some idea. And then history, a little bit of a history, like general history. That's it. Other than that, actually, nothing else is really that important. See? Then you must make sure that all of these devotees are following the regulative principles very nicely. Everyone must rise early, take bath, attend Mangalarati, chant at least 16 good rounds. Good rounds means, like chanting, hearing the chant, focusing on the chant. Attend class and follow the 4 regulative principles strictly. For all this to happen, we should also take Kṛṣna Prasadam always. Always take Kṛṣna Prasadam, nothing else. I think maybe tomorrow we will cover the Kṛṣna Prasadam. Of course, we haven't covered the Gaurarati yet. We will do Kṛṣna Prasadam tomorrow and then go to Gaurarati. And actually, we have to do a session on Panchatattva as well. The Panchatattva, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivas. Actually, many devotees don't even know much. They just know that mantra, but nothing more than that. One devotee actually wrote me a message saying, whenever I see the painting of the Panchatattva and the Sankirtan, I am just realizing that I hardly know anything about this devotee. So we have to get involved. So you must set nice example for the others by following very rigidly the regulative principles such as chanting 16 rounds on the beads, reading the books, getting up to attend Mangalarti, etc. In this way, everyone shall be encouraged. You should be very much careful to see that our devotees are following the regulatory principles and standard practices such as attending morning arati classes, sankirtan, and reading our books. So, these are some of the quotes of Prabhupada. So now that we have understood, hopefully, the importance of Mangalarati, so I just want to give some basic tips which everyone can follow, even at home. So it is very simple, in fact. So in the temple, of course, when you come, you are forced to follow the entire program anyway. So that's our daily affair. But at home is where the difficulty starts for many household devotees. That how am I going to do this at home? First scenario is when all the members are devotees. Okay, let's take that scenario for a start, where the husband, wife, children, the devotees, and the children are small children. So basically, the husband and wife are devotees. So it is not uncommon that they may not be as serious. They wake up and they at their own time and do the Mangalarati at their own time. This should be avoided as far as possible. Unless the person is working a night shift, then he cannot be there. Even then, wherever he is, he must remember the samsara. He can just sing to himself, like that. But otherwise, it has to be done in the morning itself. So actually, in every ISKCON temple is 4:30, but here in Singapore we do at 5. The reason being the Singapore timing, somehow it just started like that from the early days, because Singapore time is 1 hour after. So when it is 5 here, actually it is 4 by geographical location, but they made adjustment. That's why our time and China time are the same, although China is way in the east. So we have the same time because it was adjusted, to meet that time. So anyway, we start at 5 here, but actually 4:30. So one can easily wake up. It's just that he has to adjust his other things in a way that it has to be mandatory. It's not like an optional thing. We are grihasthas, we can be a little relaxed. Temple, very strict, but here we can be relaxed. No, I mean the standard of worship may not be as high as in the temple, but the duty should be the same. The rising up early, that cannot be changed. No. So there has to be no compromise whatsoever, and one has to wake up. I mean, if we are wanting our spiritual advancement, I'm sorry if this is sounding harsh, but this has to be told. I mean, we have to be serious about spiritual advancement, so please take it in that spirit. I beg for forgiveness if I'm coming across as harsh or anything else, but that is not my intention. The intention is your spiritual advancement. The intention is that you have to go back to Godhead. Every one of us, we have to go back to Godhead. We have to become successful in our lives. So let's take it all in that spirit and be enthusiastic to follow these things. And if it is bitter, if it sounds bitter, let it be for now and let me follow, and then everything will become sweet. It will become sweet. Actually, you will feel the satisfaction when you do it all every day. You will feel so much satisfaction because that activity is pleasing Prabhupada, and Krishna is pleased by that. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. And because of that, I also feel happy and satisfied. So it will only feel bitter as long as I'm not following, and I know I have to follow, and that guilt always kills us. So the best way to kill that guilt is to just wake up. However difficult it is, one has to wake. It is of course very difficult in the house. In temple, somebody will wake you up and somebody, But at home, it's easy to relax. But don't relax. Don't take it as your home. Just behave it as if it's an ashram in the temple. Because it is called grihastha ashram. It's an ashram. Otherwise it's grihamethi. It's just a griham andhakupam. Andhakupam means it's a blind well. What is that? Prahlad Maharaj. For those who are materialistic, their house is griham andhakupam. It's a blind well where you cannot come out from. It's like you're hopeless already. It's just finished. That is the position of griham andhakupam. But if it is a grihastha ashram, then we have to behave it like an ashram. It is an ashram. So, devotees, especially disciples, their house is an ashram and they have to wake up. And then the husband and wife, they both must do the Mangalarti. The children, once they come at least 5 years like that, they must participate as well. Because otherwise they will not get used to it. The moment the child goes, actually we have seen in devotees' lives, the children lives, when they are very young, they are all right. They are actually very good because they attend all the programs. Those devotees who actually get their children to the programs and all. But the problem comes when they start going to school. And when they come to the age of 10, 11, 12, 13, they are hardly interested in anything. Because why? Their association. And all those materialists, in fact the devotees feel very, I don't want to show myself as a devotee, so what people will say, I don't want to put tilak or on, I don't want to show myself or I don't want to show my chanting beads, I don't want to show Prabhupada's books and all. They will see that I'm too religious, I'm not a cool guy, and then no girl will come after me, like that. So people have their own, children, especially in their growing years, they are so much influenced by peer pressure, by their friends. So if their friends happen to be not devotees, strong devotees, that means if they have not made enough strong friendship with devotees, then they will easily make friendship with all those materialists and they will fall away and they will have no interest and no interest at all. In fact, they will be ashamed to tell anything about their own spiritual practices. I've seen. So we have to be, especially the parents. That's the reason why this education system is so bad. So whatever is of course some countries, especially in Singapore, until at least the primary school you have to do it. So no choice. So at least after that, the devotees the parents should seriously think of cutting out all the education. Enough. One can become a devotee. If you think there is not going to be any employment chances, and why? There is so much vacancy in the Brahmana job. Why we should be employed like Shudras? No. So we have to, there are enough lawyers, enough doctors, enough engineers, there is enough of all that. The problem is there are not enough devotees to preach. And the whole world is in a problem because of these things. Because the root of the problem is nobody is spiritually advanced. And then it eventually manifests to situations like these, emergency situations where everybody is locked down and nobody can do anything. But honestly, until now, the whole earth, every other species felt they were in lockdown. Now they are feeling a little free and we are in lockdown. Now, if you see the world around us, the pollution is less, the drinking is less, the illicit sex has already almost completely went to zero because of social distancing, thanks to that. And meat eating, eating outside is all, meat eating is still going on, but these people, they will never understand the problems. But not as much as before. And even Chinese president, he urged his people, to take more vegetarian food, when the coronavirus happened in China at that time. So, of course, vegetarian food is much more healthy. And vegetarian food, we are not for vegetarian. We are only for prasadam. But you see, at least the world is becoming, this lockdown period is a much better time for the earth than other times. So it's Krishna's own way, nature's own way to relieve the burden over herself by getting us all locked up. So this is all good in one sense. So but the problem is when everything is past, when all this passes, people will straight they will jump back into all those sinful activities. Somebody sent me a WhatsApp message story that we have to pray for a lockdown, release from the lockdown, and they made up some story. The story was, I never heard this anywhere in the Mahabharata. Somebody just made up this story, especially Hindus, they like to make up stories about God. So what they did, there was a story. The story was like this, that just before the war of the Kurukshetra, Krishna and Arjuna were on the chariot, and suddenly Krishna asked Arjuna, give me the bow and arrow. Then Arjuna was like, what? He was thinking, he said he was not going to fight. Then he was just looking at him, thinking like that. Then, no, give me the bow and arrow immediately. Because before that, what happened? A sparrow came, and in bird language, he told that, she has just laid her eggs, and on that land, and then now the war is going to take place. Please save my children. So this sparrow, so Krishna of course understands all languages, even the birds and animals language. So he understood. So he asked, and then he shot an arrow. There are many war elephants, and they have all kinds of armor and even bells and everything. So he hit, and then he hit the bell of an elephant, and there was spark, and then the bell fell. And Arjuna was laughing at Krishna that he missed such an easy target. Elephant is so big, and then he missed the elephant and he hit the bell on the elephant head. The elephant did not even die. Then he was laughing to himself. Then Arjuna said, should I shoot? You want me to shoot? No, maybe I can do better. And say, what kind of story is this? Come on, And then Krishna said, no, that I've done what is needed. Then the whole war happens and everything happens. And Arjuna did not pay much attention to whatever happened. Maybe Krishna did, whatever it is, fine. So the whole war happened, finished. After the war was finished, the whole Kurukshetra was, fully with all dead bodies of animals, men and everybody. And then Krishna took the chariot to that place where that elephant bell was hit. And then Krishna asked Arjuna to take that bell out. And it was a heavy bell. It was not just like a normal bell. It was a small bell. It was a heavy bell on the elephant, So, he's, why is Krishna, so many things there, why is just asking me to remove a bell from here? What is the point? Anyway, he removed the bell. And then from there, 5 birds came out. The mother bird and the eggs which were laid out, and then now they became chicks, and then, they flew out of there, and then they went. And then he understood, wow, Krishna saved them. That's what he did with that bell. So in this way, so they were locked down in that bell for 18 days. So now Krishna has released them. So we have to all also pray for Krishna to release us from this lockdown, something like that. And then until then we just stay and pray to Krishna like that for releasing us from a lockdown. So the whole prayer is to release from the lockdown. I said, come on, first of all, this is not even there. This is not even a part of the scripture. This is a made up story. Somebody wanted to make a story and then made up a story. And secondly, if a change was made to maybe Quran or Bible, will they accept it? Maybe I don't know about Bible, but Quran especially. If you change the word of the Quran, nobody will accept it. So why do we accept such a change? And people share it. People share it also. Oh wow, nice story, Krishna, making Krishna, making people believe in Krishna after all. What is wrong in that? The problem is, firstly, it was an invented story. We cannot change the Shastra. We cannot put our own inventions into Shastra. It's an offense. And we may think it is nice, it is, inculcating some faith in Krishna, some faith in God. No, it is some stupidity. Because to ask to release us from this, lockdown so that, I can be more free again, this is, no. The focus should be, just see, first, instead of just asking for a release, first of all, try to understand the lesson that Krishna is teaching by putting us into lockdown first. Why he has even put us into lockdown. Before you asking him to release from this lockdown, we must understand why we are even here. Why this lockdown even happened. So it is because of our undue transgression of Krishna's laws, nature's laws. And now that is coming back at us. So we have to amend our ways. So this lockdown is a perfect situation where my materialistic activities have subsided, and I can actually take to my spiritual. I can start reading Bhagavad Gita. I can start reading, chanting Hare Krishna. I have to take this opportunity as a growth. Opportunity for my spiritual growth. And then whatever it is, Krishna, you know what to do, or lockdown or what. But let me actually take this opportunity to become more serious devotee of Krishna. So not so much worrying about let me just free from this lockdown, and then what happens after lockdown? Everybody will come back. If they don't use this as an opportunity to change their hearts, change their minds by taking up to Kṛṣṇa consciousness, then they will come back to the same rubbish again that they were doing. all the sinful activities will resume to their fullest extent. In fact, even more, because it will be a celebration time. Booze, a club has been closed. No Mangalarti on the club. So, we have to perform. Even bigger congregation. Everybody just have a festival. And what is a festival in a material? What is a material festival? There will be more meat, more intoxication, more sex, more gambling. This is their festival. So actually, I'm very happy that all of these things have gone down. So can we maintain this after even? So that only happens if our hearts become cleansed. So anyway, I went on a tangent, but this is very important to understand. That this lockdown is a good time that we are having this Krishna Katha as well. So let us take it more seriously. And in the house, we have to follow everything properly. So devotees, they have to follow this. Just a must. Just know. And sometimes it can be a little bit friction between husband and wife. Maybe one is not serious, one is serious. The only solution to this is that both have to just become serious. Prabhupada said there will be a perfect peace if everybody is following all these things. When it is not followed, then there will be so many frictions. So why unnecessary? And what is so difficult to follow? It will just take half an hour in the day. In the morning, Mangalarti and Tulasi, everything, half an hour. And then that's it. And then we can chant. And we chant nicely and then read Prabhupada's books. This is very auspicious and very nice start to the day. So let us keep that in mind, our real this thing, which is spiritual life, our real goal of life. And next, coming to devotees, where some of them are not devotees and the family members are not devotees, but this person is a devotee. Then maybe there will be frictions, like they don't like the Mangalarti sound, or like whatever it is. So in that situation, you just have some pictures and then you can sing to yourself softly. Samsara Davana Lalid Haloka. You just sing softly. There's no point shouting and making a big fuss. You may win a temporary battle for that day maybe, but in the long run it will be just, they will have more and more this thing. So never mind, just the main focus is you have to follow first you have to follow. So follow that rigidly, and then Krishna will make more arrangements as we go on. We have to be strong in our determination. So for those who cannot have those, they just silently follow. They can silently just sing and everything. Do the whole thing program. And even if I can't do the arati and all, I can at least sing the songs and just offer some flowers to the deity. And if possible, incense, lamp and flowers and like that. For initiated devotees and those husband, wife, all devotees, they can do the full arati if they want. If it is possible. If all the paraphernalia are there, we can always do the full arati. And how much effort it is. Why do we have to laze? There should be no excuse if everything is favorable. If everything is not favorable, still we have to do to our maximum extent possible, and just stick to the process, and at the very least, sing the songs quietly to ourselves. Have some Krishna pictures in our own room and everything, or our own cupboard or something, which is, if the family members are not favorable, then just have like that, and then have your own prayer like that. But one must still wake up at that time. And what more situations can there be? Sometimes the question may be like, I wake up, but because I wake up early, the whole day I'm like, I cannot focus on the work time, and I cannot do all these things. Well, one has to just learn how to sleep earlier. We have to adjust. So we cannot think of always what is the alternative so that my material life is going on. Of course, that is also necessary materially. Maybe one has to earn for the family, maybe. But still, we can adjust things, like sleeping a little earlier, unnecessarily, instead of going late into the night, maybe sleeping a little earlier. And then, so in this way, I make adjustments. But let's make this very clear that every day, not just like once a week or something, every day we just do this in the morning. Then you will see how much you will make advancement. It's amazing how much effect it has on our consciousness. the morning, especially Brahma Muhurta. Brahma Muhurta is that. Muhurta is 2 dandas, which is 48 minutes. Muhurta is a 48-minute time period. So, our Mangalarti, if you see, the whole thing lasts about 48 minutes usually. From the starting of Mangalarti all the way to the reading Nectar of Devotion and chanting Sikshashtaka and then chanting 10 offenses. Usually it's about 48 minutes, 50 minutes. So that time is perfect. So I think that's all I have to say. And now we will go to the questions, if you have any questions, and we will try to address them, because I think maybe you will have more questions and more scenarios which I may not be able to think of. Let's see. So regarding that living at home like a guest, not thinking oneself as the owner of the home, but this is just Krishna's home and I am just a guest in this home. I have to do my duty of spiritual life. It's not that because I am the owner of this home I can just do whatever I like, I'll just sleep and no. So this is Vishwambara Prabhu has given us. So 11:17:54 Bhagavatam. I will not try to take it out maybe here. You can see in the comments, so you can maybe go and see that. But I'll just read it here. Itham parimrishan mukto griheshu atithi vad vasan na grihair anubadhyeta nirmamo nirahankritaha. Deeply considering the actual situation, a liberated soul should live at home just like a guest, without any sense of proprietorship or false ego. In this way, he will not be bound or entangled by domestic affairs. Narendra is asking, Daivi Varnashram and Varnashram have not been established. How can we preach when we can cater for every candidate who are willing to practice Kṛṣṇa consciousness? Farm and Vedic villages must be set up and no one can complain they don't have time, whatever. So basically the question is, the Daivi Varnashram and the farm community have not been established, so how can we preach to people saying that they have to follow the Mangalarti? It is true, the farm communities and the Varnashram system has to be set up, but nothing can stop you from practicing Mangalarti. Even if you have to go to work, you can always do this. As I have already said many times during this class, we just have to do it. We just have to do it, that's it. We just have to wake up. I am telling you another example. We went to a group of devotees. Now they are no more with us because they did not practice everything properly anyway. So they did not want to associate with us because it was getting very evident that unless they practice everything strictly, they will not be able to continue with us. So those group of devotees had a farm. I'm telling you this. With my own personal experience, I'm telling you. They had a farm. Big farm, 33 acres. 33 acres, yeah. Quite a sizable farm. They had cows, they had big nice farming, producing even 10 tons of potatoes and everything was nice. None of them come for Mangalarti. Their house is just like a literal stone's throw away. Just like in the same farm, temple is here and maybe 10 to 15 meters from the temple is the house. Another house is just like maybe 20 meters. Another house is like 25 meters. 50 meters is the max. Was the farthest house. Absolutely no reason for them not to come. But none of them come for Mangalarti. You can still give an excuse if you want. So, excuse giving will never stop. No matter how much facility is there. The only reason why Prabhupada said there can be a million reasons why we can leave Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Or, I would just say that there are a million reasons for not coming for Mangalarti or anything like that. But only one reason to follow. If we are serious about Kṛṣṇa consciousness, we will do it anyway. Whether or not we have farm communities, of course we are trying. We have a farm in Malaysia, but we have only one person there. He does everything perfectly. But the thing is, we cannot wait for something to happen, and in the meanwhile I'll just sleep through and wait for the devotees to set up one farm. If anything, I'll say that I have not set up a farm, so I'm not attending, I will not do my Mangalarti. No excuse whatsoever. Ahaitu kya pratyahata. No matter whether we have farm community or not, we will have to wake up. That's it. Only that will save us. Because what if the devotees have not been able to set up a farm community and then I died in the meantime? And I did not attend any Mangala Arati. And let's look at it this way. If they have not set up the farm, that means maybe they need more devotees. So why not I help? Why not I be part of the? What can I do? Because manpower, if we have manpower, why we will not set up all these things? If we have as many devotees. But even devotees, their own children are going to schools and becoming big doctors, lawyers, and and they say because of spiritual strength, he is getting this intelligence. See how intelligent devotee is. He is getting like straight A's or golden stars or whatever it is. But I don't know. I'm just making it up. So that's the reason why we don't have. So devotees especially, they should think that their children especially must become devotees and not just, yes Prabhu, I'll become a devotee, I'll become a big lawyer and everything, I'll give them donation to the temple, because temple also needs donations, right? More than donations, we need people should join up. There's a vacancy here. People don't want to take up the job because it's not lucrative in terms of money, because zero salary you will get. But the salary that you will get is like, what is that verse that Chaitanya Charitamrita we saw? Engage me in thy service with love as your pay. So we will get, love of Godhead, love of Kṛṣṇa as our pay. So it's far greater. That's just we don't understand the value of such payment. So that's our misfortune. But yes, we should always follow, no matter what. Not give any excuse for some ideal situation to happen. Even in that ideal situation, those, as I told you the example, they were not following. They had a perfect farm. None of them worked outside. None of the devotees. All the devotees, they did not work outside. There's like I think 3 or 4 families and with many children. None of them worked outside, but none of them came for Mangalarati. None of them came. And even other more worse things were happening, but I don't want to elaborate much. Some of them take coffee, some of them watch even pornography. Why? Not chanting, not 16 rounds, not take prasadam, sometimes chocolate, sometimes some, in the name of cough syrup, some alcohol. So all these things are going on. So, if we become determined, no matter where we are, then that will work. Alright, so next question. I don't know. Vidya. Question. Hare Krishna, help my son who is working and his friends. Yeah, that's why we are having these sessions. So please ask him to watch these sessions. Read Prabhupada's books and, watch these sessions and try to become a devotee. That's why the help means, our help means, as Prabhupada said, the leader bird will show the way. But flapping the wings, we have to do. I cannot, the people say, oh, pray for me. What pray for you? You want to outsource this prayer. Why you want to outsource the prayer? You have to pray for yourself. So the priests, they will show you how to pray. But the prayer we have to do ourselves. I cannot outsource this, So we are holding these classes for that very purpose, to help everyone. What about devotees who are traveling? Okay, good question. So I wanted to cover that scenario, but I forgot. So even while traveling, I don't know if you have seen some of our vlogs when we were in Europe and China, even China. When we were preaching, even in China, even in Europe, of course there is no problem. We were in a hotel in London. When we went to London, we were in a hotel and we were doing our Mangalarati, no problems. But in China, any kind of spiritual activity is forbidden. So we were still doing our Mangalarati in hotel room, although it was difficult. And only when once or twice, when the police, the authority in the hotel told that police might make their rounds because you are so many foreigners here and they don't want foreigners because they have seen that foreigners come and preach in this area. We actually went to Henan province last November, and it's just beside the Hubei province where the Wuhan city is there and the virus all started there. So it's just nearby that, and we went in November, and in December the Wuhan virus actually started its rounds. So we were just like 1 month before that. So at that time, in that area, Hubei, Henan province of China, there have been a lot of Christian missionaries who have been coming and preaching and all that. So it has been a rule that anytime there is like a sizable number of foreigners who come and check into a hotel, immediately as they check in, the information is sent to the police department, and the police department have the right to check on them and check everything. They can check everything. So when the hotel authority told us that this might happen, that's when we did not do. Otherwise, we would have one Prabhu's room usually, where everybody will gather and have the Mangalarti there. Very softly we'll sing Hare Krishna and Mangalarti Samsara Dava and Alalidha Loka. So like that. So only when that thing happened, then we just everybody did in their own rooms silently. And we had to wear also non-devotional clothing just in case they check. So in the night. So but in the daytime we were in our devotional clothing even in the hotel. But so even in that circumstance we never missed. And similarly with prasadam also, we cooked our own self. Even in the hotel, you can nowadays they're all electric wok and everything, electric cooker. You can always take one with you and then you can always cook up some simple dishes. We in fact had feasts in the hotel, cooking our own self, with our own ingredients, and we had one suitcase full of cooking apparatus. And because it was like around how many of us? Say 12 of us. So it was I think 10 or something like 10 maybe, I don't know. Around that many of us. So we were in one room it was like a kitchen. It's just we cooked everything there. So it's still possible, And of course when you're traveling alone or with a family, simple cooking, you don't have to have maybe that much. But simple cooking can still be done. Electric wok and then one electric cooker and then maybe induction stove. Or if you can always book an Airbnb and they will have a kitchen and you can cook there. Things can be adjusted, in other words. So, but the thing I should still wake up. The best excuse when happens that when traveling is, first of all, why are you even traveling? Is it for a holiday? Is it even necessary? If you are traveling, go for a pilgrimage instead. So we'll have spiritual merit in that. Just for holiday, what is there? I don't understand. So, but if there is a business trip, still. So the best way to get out, the excuse can be the jet lag. I'm jet lag is like Singapore time is this and this time is this. The best way to get out of jet lag is just wake up in that local time at the Mangalarti time and then do the Mangalarti. And then even if you feel sleepy or something, adjust. And then just when you keep that, then you wake up early and then live it as if you are like, it's just that is the day, that is the start of the day. And then everything will become rewired and we'll get adjusted to the time. Prabhupada at that advanced age, although the whole life he never went out of Indian time zone. At 69 he started, at 70 years old practically. And he circled the globe 14 times. Mind you, he was never used to such traveling. He never knew what was jet lag, nothing. He never went on a plane for the first 70 years of his life. Okay? And then also to America he went on a ship. And then after that, then when he actually started going on the plane and to so many countries, circled the globe 14 times. At the advanced age of 70 and 80 when he was sometimes getting sick and his body is frail and he always mentioned himself as to be in the fag end of his life. At that time, he never missed. He always would just treat it as the local time and then just carry on. So he never got jet lag, nothing. He never had the problem. Why? Because he just was stuck with that principle, that Mangalarti, and that's it. All his, suppose 1 p.m. is when he will eat. Whenever he goes to a new place, suppose it's 5 hours ahead or 5 hours whatever behind, he just ate 1 p.m. at that time. That's it. No matter what. No, I'm still in my Indian time. I'm not used to the American time. No, nothing like that. Just follow whatever it is. The local time, just follow the standard time. And that's it. He was like that, easily following everything without a problem. So that is the actual solution for this. Is the temple going to conduct morning classes online? Well, at this point, no. Because honestly, I I do not know if you conduct online classes and then evening classes, how many of you will even come? And some of you are working from home, and we also are, because of our short number of hands here. Everybody is engaged in cooking or something like that. So we have not been having morning Bhagavatam classes at all. We just have the Prabhupada class, and after that we just go up. So I think as long as this lockdown lasts, and also in the class we cannot be sitting down here. That's also prohibited by the government. They may come and check at any time. So doing all that social distancing or whatever it is. So we are not conducting even now I am giving this class, nobody is in this room. I alone am in this room. So we are not having in the morning. But you can always listen to Prabhupada's class and then get by your day. And then even if you are cooking or something, or if you are busy doing work from home, just hear Prabhupada's class. His classes are not as long as mine, like his class is just like half an hour, and hear one of his classes and then get by your day and then try to hear it. And like that, when then get time to read, do something like that. You can always read Prabhupada's books in the class time, during the class time. I mean, not during the class, but instead of a class, you can read the books. You can hear a Prabhupada's class like that. You can adjust. I think that's all for the questions. I think. Is there anything else? Thank you very much for all your appreciation. I'm sorry I was quite, the tone was a bit harsh, but it was not meant to be harsh. It's just meant to be strong, because this is a strongly important, we have to take it strongly. It is important for us. Tapasya Prabhu said maybe very few people or devotees will like this class. So we are not for the likes and how many hearts we will get for this class. Actually, I see the number of likes are more than other classes. So anyway, we are not for those likes. We are here to just present the truth and for the benefit of everyone. As long as we can get that one like from Srila Prabhupada and one like from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Once we get a like from Prabhupada, that means Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all are happy. The whole parampara, the whole Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda, the millions and trillions of Vaishnavas in the spiritual world, everybody, the 3/4 energy of Krishna, everybody is happy. So that is those are our judges. What else? Yes, verse of the day by Vishwambara Prabhu. Sahanistan mahachidram samoha sachavibhramaha yan muhurtam kshanam vapi vasudevam nachindayet. So from the Vishnu Puran, it is stated in one of the purports. If even for a moment remembrance of Vasudeva is missed, that is the greatest loss, that is the greatest illusion, and that is the greatest anomaly. Alright, so Vishwambara Prabhu says, better to get hurt by the truth than comforted with a lie. Beautiful. I like this. Let's put it here. Better to get hurt by the truth than comforted with a lie. Such a beautiful way to put it. Because even the comfort of that lie will only last for a while, but when after death, it's going to hurt even much worse. So 6:16:39. What is this? If persons, O Supreme Lord, if persons obsessed with material desires for sense gratification through material opulence worship you, who are the source of all knowledge and are transcendental to material qualities, they are not subject to material rebirth, just as sterilized or fried seeds do not produce plants. Living entities are subjected to the repetition of birth and death because they are conditioned by material nature, but since you are transcendental, one who is inclined to associate with you in transcendence escapes the conditions of material nature. So, that is the this is something from the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. Kala Krishnadas was influenced and allured by nomads and gypsies who enticed him with women. Maya is so strong that Kala Krishnadas left Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's company to join gypsy women. even though a person may associate with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he can be allured by Maya and leave the Lord's company due to his slight independence. Only one who is overwhelmed by Maya can be so unfortunate so as to leave Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's company. Yet, unless one is very conscientious, the influence of Maya can drag one away, even though he be the personal assistant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what to speak of others? The Bhattaharis used to increase their numbers by using women to allure outsiders. This is factual evidence showing that it is possible at any time to fall down from the Lord's association. One need only misuse his little independence. It's very important, you see. There is a story of that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita where this personal assistant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left him. So, if personal assistant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can leave, then we can also leave. It's not very hard for us, for Maya to, make us fall down. The Bhattaharis used to increase their numbers by using women to allure outsiders. Sometimes in ISKCON also we see the Sankirtan parties. One of the Swamis actually, the women are the one who lead the Sankirtan and the men are way behind. They lead the singing but way behind, and the women are all nicely made up, nice makeup and everything, and all like big garlands, and the men don't have any garlands, nothing, brahmacharis and whatever. They are just leading Kirtan way back at the behind, and then in the front, and all the women with all the fans and everything is all. Yes, it looks very attractive. Surely it looks attractive, but what kind of people will be attracted? There was one such video of some Russian women, and Russian women all pretty much look very good. So, when this video surfaced in the YouTube, and everybody, if you see the comment section, many thousands of views, many thousands of views. Kirtan video with all the girls, doing all the dances and everything. And then the comments, if you see, everybody is asking, who is that girl? Who is the girl with that fan? She's so beautiful. She looks like Radharani. But in their mind, they're thinking, I want to enjoy this Radharani. They wanted to be Krishna. So, it's sending wrong signals. You're not attracting spiritually. In fact, Prabhupada even once said, if many women are coming, means there is some problem. Of course, we're not against women coming into the movement, but if there are only women joining and then men are coming for those women, and then if that sexual attraction is what is pulling them to the movement, and that is not spiritual, that is not preaching. People may come, but they will come for different reasons. They will not come for the real thing. So we have to be just doing the strict program, and those who are worthy of such association, they will come. Krishna will send. So we have to just be strict with the whole thing. So I think we will stop it here. Thank you very much for joining, and hopefully all the devotees will follow the morning program every day in their houses, and please take this very seriously. Don't slacken at all. Keep this every day, every single day, wherever you are, however difficult it is. Alright, so we will meet again tomorrow. I think the topic will be importance of Krishna Prasadam. This is another very important aspect, and we will cover a little bit about that. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Jai Śrīla Prabhupāda ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Mangalarti ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.